Duskmourn previews are done, and now we are seeing the market's response. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Duskmourn House of Horror, or find a vast number of other great products on their website. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch, where today we're looking at the top 12 hottest Magic cards of the week. Usually we do 10, but there were a couple other interesting cards that just missed the list, so I wanted to expand it a little bit this week. Now, overall, things are somewhat calmer in the secondary market as many are waiting for the release of Duskmourn before they pull the trigger on purchases, but there are some interesting cards jumping as a result of the Duskmourn previews. Before we get into the list though, just one quick thing. I want to say thank you to one of our gold patrons, that is WolfOfTinStreet Ban. Wolf has been a gold patron for quite some time now. Just want to say thank you, Wolf. Thank you for all your support. Couldn't do this without viewers like yourself. I truly appreciate it. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. Coming in at number 12 is Great Unclean One. This is up $1.40 to $2.62. That's a 115% increase. This is from Warhammer 40k's The Ruinous Powers Commander deck. The card has been in a number of Commander builds since it came out. Decks around Be'lakor the Dark Master from its precon are where you see it the most currently. Now though, Great Unclean One is moving because of Duskmourn. I have seen some speculating on this card because of the front-facing commander of the upcoming Endless Punishment deck. Now the commander is Vel'Gavoth, Harrower of Souls, but if you read these two cards, they don't actually directly interact well together. Vel'Gavoth says whenever an opponent loses life for the first time during each of their turns, put a +1/+1 counter on Vel'Gavoth and draw a card, while Great Unclean One triggers at the beginning of your end step. At that time, each opponent loses 2 life, so that happens on your turn, not on theirs. Part of me thinks some people are specking on Great Unclean One because they just didn't read the cards closely, but I believe others are thinking that a good Vel'Gavoth deck should be able to stay ahead of opponents' life totals, meaning Great Unclean One should be able to generate a lot of tokens. Others are even trying to tailor their builds to be a Demon Kindred focus by including cards like Rakdos the Showstopper and Herald of Slaanesh, more on that card in a moment, and if nothing else, Great Unclean One will generally work fine as a part of a Death by 1,000 cut strategy. With that being said, I'm not really seeing that many people putting it in their early deck lists around Vel'Gavoth. It's around 12% currently, so be careful with this spec. Number 11 is Sporocyst. It is up $1.40 as well to $4.40. That's a 47% increase. This is from the Warhammer 40k Tyranid Swarm Commander deck. Currently, this gets some Commander playing a few different builds. The most popular one is around Magus Lucia Kane from its precon, but now this is another card that is being spec'd on thanks to Duskmourn. There are some speculating that this will be a good upgrade to the Jump Scare Commander deck with an exclamation point, or that it will be used in fresh builds around the front-facing commander from there, Zimone Mystery Unraveler. Others think Sporocyst will find a home in commander decks around this card from the main set, Zimone All Questioning. But again, be cautious of this spike. I have looked at a lot of deck lists around these new Zimone cards and have yet to find any using Sporocyst. Alright, that brings us to where we typically begin. Number 10, Sauron the Dark Lord, up $1.51 to $8.82. That's a 21% increase. This continues to be a very highly played commander. It can be in the 99 and some Saruman the White Hand builds too, but typically when you see this, it's the commander. Now Sauron the Dark Lord is gaining some momentum this week, again because of Duskmourn previews. Vel'Gavoth, Terror Eater from the main set, is a good complement to Sauron the Dark Lord in commander. If an opponent wants to target Sauron, they must sacrifice a legendary artifact or legendary creature. Vel'Gavoth would then have the opponent exile the card, and you could play it using life on your turn. Number 9 is Herald of Slaanesh, up $1.73 to $6.10. That's a 40% increase. This is another card from Warhammer 40k's The Ruinous Powers Commander deck. Currently, this shows up in some Commander Demon-centric builds. The most popular is around a card from its precon. Again, that is Be'lakor the Dark Master. If you have been watching Duskmourn previews, you know that this set has support for demons, and because of that, there is some speculation on this card. There are players putting Herald of Slaanesh in commander deck lists around Vel'Gavoth, Harrower of Souls from the Endless Punishment deck, and in many cases they are including Velgavoth Terror Eater from the main set in the list as well. Number 8, Second Chance of 207 to 599, that's a 53% increase. This reserve list card was not seeing much play to speak of, but many think that Duskmourn will change all that. Second Chance could be a good upgrade to the enchantment-centric Miracle Worker commander deck, and it could also be good in fresh builds around the front-facing commander, Aminatou Veil Piercer. But building around another card from that precon could truly unlock Second Chance's potential. That card is the Master of Keys. Giving Second Chance escape means you will be able to get it back from the graveyard, although it may also be helpful to have something like Necropotence to keep your life total down where you need it. The question remains though, is this too many hoops to jump through? Time will tell, but right now, Second Chance is hot. Number 7, Echoing Assault. It's up 582 to 695. That's a 515% increase. This is from Family Matters, the Bloomburrow commander deck, not the TV show. It has quickly become a highly played commander card in lots of decks. You see it in fresh builds around the front-facing commander from its precon, Zinnia Valley's Voice, but players have also grabbed it to upgrade the Animated Army Bloomburrow deck, while others have used Echoing Assault in fresh builds around that deck's front-facing commander, Bellow Bard of the Brambles. Plus, Echoing Assault is in a couple highly played commander builds around cards from Bloomburrow's main set, Balin the Haymaker and Wick the World Mind. But wait, there's more. An upcoming Duskmourn card is pushing it as well. Some are interested in putting Echoing Assault in commander builds around the Jolly Balloon Man, and it should fit naturally into those decks. Ultimately though, I think Echoing Assault would be seeing a price increase with or without the Jolly Balloon Man, just due to the sheer amount of play it has been seeing in the commander format. That takes us to number 6, Starfield of Nyx, the Commander Masters copy of 232 to 453. That is a 105% increase. The Magic Origins copy goes up 602 to 884. That is a 213% increase. This has been in modern Enchantress decks, and it is a solid card in any enchantment-centric commander build, like Onyxia Hand of Erebos, for example. Recently, this even saw a bump in commander play, showing up in decks around a card from MTG Universe's Beyond Assassin's Creed, Ivor Wolfkist. Now, however, as you may have guessed by now, Duskmourn is playing a role in this spike. The set is bringing us enchantment support, but one of the commander decks is doing the heavy lifting here. Starfield of Nyx will be another good upgrade to the Miracle Worker commander deck, and great in fresh builds around both Aminatou Veil Piercer and the Master of Keys from there. Okay, before we get to our top 5, just one quick thing. I want to remind you that this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Duskmourn House of Horror products there. They have a whole lot of other MTG products as well. You can also now pre-order Foundations on their site too. And remember, if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. Also, if you're looking for a direct link to the site, just check out the description or the comment section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's get to the top 5. Agate Instigator comes in at number 5. It goes up 660 to 1649. That is a 67% increase. This is another card from Family Matters, the commander deck, not the TV show. It's in fresh builds around the front-facing commander from there, Zinnia Valley's Voice. It's also in other commander decks though, old and new. You see Agate Instigator in the Locust God decks, for example, and it's included in 2 highly played builds around cards from the Bloomburrow main set. Those are Gevscald Scorch and Balin the Haymaker. However, you know Duskmourn has something to do with this jump too. Agate Instigator is showing up in early deck lists around the Jolly Balloon Man. Coming in at number 4 is Surveyor's Scope. The Commander 2013 copy from the Evasive Maneuvers deck is up $1.29 to $5.76. That's a 29% increase. And the Commander Anthology version from the reprinting of the same deck is up $7.08 to $12.70. That is a 126% increase. This doesn't see much play. So why is it moving up? Well, on a recent episode of Shark Tank on MTG Goldfish, this card was discussed, and the case was made that it has been overlooked and underrated. That exposure led to purchases and ultimately inventory drying up online. Some of this is FOMO and speculation, of course. We'll have to see if the card truly gets more commander play in the future. Be careful with this one. I feel like there could be lots of copies hiding in people's inventory all over the place, and once they see this spike, many of those copies could show up for sale. Number 3 is Penance. It goes up 1027 to 1173. That's a 703% increase if you're doing the math at home. This one-print wonder from the early years of Magic hasn't seen much play, but now it's spiking hard, and you might be able to guess why. It's another card that speculators have focused on since the reveal of the Duskmourn Miracle Worker Commander deck and the new support coming for enchantment builds. Some want this to upgrade Miracle Worker, of course, while others want to put it in fresh decks around Aminatou Veil Piercer and the Master of Keys from there. Our number 2 hot card this week was our number 7 hot card last week. It is Reign of Gore, up 1159 to 2249. That's a 106% increase. Here we have another one-print wonder taking off, partially because it has become kind of difficult to find at times. The catalyst for this spike, though, is Modern. That format has been shaken up due to the release of Modern Horizons 3 not too long ago, and the recent banning of Nadu Winged Wisdom and Grief in the format. In this updated meta, we are seeing an aggressive Hollow One build having some success and capturing a good amount of attention. That deck runs 4 copies of both Nethergoyf as well as Detective's Phoenix from Modern Horizons 3, but it also typically has 2 copies of Reign of Gore in the sideboard to deal with life gain. And finally, coming in at number 1 is Emrakul, The Promised End from Eldritch Moon, up 1403 to 7985. That's a 21% increase. There are several different formats running this card. First, Pioneer has recently been shaken up due to the banning of Amalia Benavides Aguirre, as well as Sorin Imperious Bloodlord. Since then, Nykthos ramp decks have gained a little traction, and they do run a copy of this in the sideboard. When it comes to Modern, we just discussed what happened to that format, and it has changed dramatically. Now you see this card in some big decks there, including Eldrazi Ramp, Tron, and Mono Blue Tron. As for Commander, this is solid there too. The highest played builds that run Emrakul The Promised End are Uolek Fused Atrocity and Zuladak Voidgorger, but there are some other builds that utilize the card too. In fact, some players have been adding this to decks around a Bloomburrow card recently, that is the infamous Cruel Claw. Additionally, there was a little speculation that some may want this Emrakul to add to the Duskmourn Death Toll Commander deck, or to put in fresh builds around the front-facing Commander from there, Winter's Cynical Opportunist. Although, putting Emrakul in play with Winter's ability does not give you the cast trigger, and honestly, I haven't seen it show up in any deck lists yet. Ultimately, that Modern Eldrazi ramp deck is the key driver for Emrakul The Promised End spike this week. Alright, just like that, that concludes another episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch and our 12 hot cards, but this is only half the story. Tomorrow we're going to come back. We're going to look at the top 10 coldest cards of the week. And now that people are shifting their attention to Duskmourn and the strategies coming out of that set, there are some good cards out there that are sliding down in value, so you don't want to miss that. Until next time, that way, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.